Welcome to the Seriously Social podcast with your host, Simone Douglas. Today's guest is Dan Levy from More Space for Light. He and Simone chat about Dan's love for Adelaide, web design, and chasing the elusive work-life balance.
Today I'm joined by Dan Levy from More Space for Light. Dan, thanks for joining me today on the Seriously Social podcast.
Absolute pleasure, Simone. When you said seriously social, I was like, do I smile when
Yes, a smile is a requirement.
Okay, I can do so unseriously social.
That seems fair. Can you give us a bit of a backstory about yourself and what More Space for Light is all about?
Sure. So a backstory. So I'm not from Australia, believe it or not. I got here most probably 16, 17 years ago. What's relevant that I came here and I came from a design background. I came here with a bag, not knowing anything of what to expect. I got here, realised I fell in love with it. Well, I very quickly realised I didn't want to leave Australia. And I was really lucky, or being in the right place at the right time. I ended up being able to go back into the field of design and web design and all that sort of stuff, and slowly built up my career from there, working in Sydney in big broadcasts like Astral and Fox Sports and people like that before moving to Adelaide. And the reason we moved to Adelaide was from love. So migration is the technical term for love, isn't it?
Totally, yeah. Right, yeah. You may stay permanently in Australia. You are required to live in South Australia, one of those ones.
Well, I think it's actually great. I love it here. So let me just say, first, when I knew I've gone deviated from the question, but we'll come back.
Yeah.
When we first from Sydney to Adelaide, I was a little bit worried, but I love it here. It's wicked. Yeah. It's brilliant. It's love it. And so I got here, worked at different agencies for a while, had to go home for family circumstances. When I came back, I was going through this stage where I knew I could do more and I knew we could do more in the industry.
Yeah.
And for a long time, I was trying to figure out what that could be. And then it was a case of working up the courage, and also coming from a design background, actually having a business name and a logo, from a very superficial point of view. But really, it was my eldest son who was the really a catalyst behind that, because one night when I was putting him to bed, he said, "Daddy, I want more space for light."
Oh.
And I said to Mum, because I worked lots,
ridiculous hours,
which I do now.
Yeah.
I said to my wife, I said, "What does that mean?" And she said, "Well, he wants more time to play, he wants more time to read." And I thought, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. I want more space for light in my life. And I want to be able.
All of us do, yeah.
Well, and the business became the mantra.
Yeah.
And it also took away a ceiling. It took away the application of what we were going to do. It was more about the intent and the outcome we could help people get to, and demystify all the BS that goes around helping them to get there.
Yeah.
Now, when I started, I initially thought we'd just be in like product design, user experience, product strategy. But what I found over the last, almost 5+ years now, is that we've slowly taken a step further back upstream, working with business to help them align on their strategy.
Yeah, cool.
So they can, and we use the tools of design thinking for them to be able to facilitate those conversations.
Yeah, nice.
Plan.
So pretend I'm an idiot, because I like to play that game. Socratic
Beginner's
method.
mind.
Yeah.
I once got told
mind.
You should never say, "I'm going to pretend I'm an idiot," and come into the room, because people all of a sudden start. So you say,
treating you like one.
I'm going to approach this with a beginner's mind.
Oh, I really like that.
It sounds nicer as well, doesn't it?
It makes me sound very important. But all right. So with a beginner's mind, when you say that you use design tools in application for strategy, tell me a little bit about what that looks like.
So basically, we are a strong believer in design thinking, and the premise behind design thinking is more of a human-centered approach to problem solving. What does that mean? That basically means that we take a step back from looking at spreadsheets and revenue forecasts and things like that, and we understand the pains, the gains, the needs of our customers, our users, our stakeholders, our members, and we understand what it is and the role that we play in their lives, and then look at what we're trying to do and try and find alignment with that. So we use different tools in order to facilitate that conversation.
So you guys, that you guys are then, everyone is saying in marketing that is exactly what the key differentiator is going to be for business in 2021.
What's that?
So is that user experience and taking a human-centered approach and understanding it. So what all of the research that I did last week for my radio show was all about, they're saying that it won't be product and it won't be price and it won't be service that keeps people with you and turns them into advocates after they bond to your business. It's going to be the user experience on the way through, and that hyper-personalization of treating people like people and not numbers. So your business is like sitting pretty.
Well, and that, so on the ride over today, I was thinking, I've been reflecting on this week. This week's been quite a tough week. As a business owner, you have
the roller coaster, yeah.
Yeah, it's been a roller coaster kind of week, and you occasionally you drop the ball, and what you realise as well, you could take that up a level, and you can look at what and you'd be able to relate. Sorry, I keep tapping my mic. You could relate to this as a business owner, and anyone else within a business. This is still applicable to.
Yeah.
The success of your business is how you manage relationships.
Absolutely.
With the people you provide services for and the people within your business.
Yeah.
That same rule is applicable to the people you provide services with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's just basically and I was thinking on the way over here, I was thinking this week how lucky I am with the people that I get to work with, that we have relationships where it's not, there's a softer side, or there's more depth to it. And I even related it back to my little boy. I was just sitting outside on the bike this morning, but I had to get to a meeting this morning, and I rode out on the motorbike and I looked over my shoulder, gave him a little toot, and I could see him at the window. And that image has been with me all day, and I've just been sitting outside, and I thought to myself, I really let him down this morning, because I could have spent more time and more focus, and that's been eating me all morning. So this is what I walked into the room with. So we might end up having a parenting conversation.
I think a parenting conversation is good though, because that's one of the challenges for business owners who also happen to be parents.
Yeah,
is you are constantly being pulled in multiple directions in terms of where are your priorities. Are you doing the right things? Are you doing the right things for your kids? And it's that challenge between putting a roof over their head and food in the fridge.
Yeah.
And then giving them your time and attention. And so I always say that this whole concept of work-life balance is bollocks. Bollocks. Doesn't exist.
Not the bollocks, which means it's...
Yeah, no, just
it's called blending.
Yeah. Well,
blending,
I call it harmony, so it's the same thing. So what I always say, and but I have running conversations with my kids, so they're 10 and 13 now, but I always have a running conversation with them. And so tonight, after I do a full day of recording and everything, I will be at my 13-year-old's Year 7 play, because even though it's his time with his dad, it's the school play and it's important. And I said, Hunter, do you want me to be there? He goes, yes. I'm like, okay, no worries. So block it out in my diary. But there'll be other things that I will miss, and they often say, or I've read some really good things about, it's about understanding that you're juggling 3 different types of balls. So you've got rubber balls that will bounce. You've got glass balls that will shatter. You've got, other ones that will get a bit dented, but they're, recoverable, or they'll still work as a ball. And so it's understanding which of the balls you've got in your hands at any given time of glass.
Yeah.
So
I think it's, Yeah, we've definitely taken a right turn. So just to close off that story, I just rang him and FaceTimed him and let him know because I could.
That's really good.
Yeah, but my worry,
yeah,
my biggest concern running a business and juggling all those balls are the fact that you take the rubber balls for granted because every impression you make with your little one, they remember.
Well, they do. That's true.
And you know, More Space for Light is not just the name of a company and not just what we're trying to do. It's also a mantra. It's like I've sat on the car and I've had client opportunity, which has been quite a lucrative one, or I could go and spend the time with my kids.
Yeah.
I spend the time with my kids.
Yeah.
Because that translates back to my North Star.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that.
And it's been a real... You know, I'm not saying I'm 100% perfect. No one is. But I'm trying, like that's my, you know, COVID, going to the COVID conversation. It's basically given me the opportunity to reset as a business owner and as a human being and a parent to be able to say, you know, at the end of the day, these are the most important things in people in my life.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And I think there's a lot of people who are like hitting the reset button and evaluating what they're doing. Why do they do what they do? Because I think the other challenge for us as business owners is, you know, we could go out and get a job tomorrow. We're highly qualified individuals. We could, you know, I could wake up tomorrow and go, you know what, I don't want to play anymore. I want a pay-G job where I know exactly how much money's landing in the bank. And when it's 5 o'clock, I can walk out the door and it's like not my thing. And so it's...
but don't you find that whole, like, we're stray cats now?
Oh yeah, no, I don't want to be.
No, and I think the worst. So there's some things in my life, and I'm sure anyone that's ever employed me would know this. Is I hate asking for permission to do things. I hate like you know, I'm allowed. That whole concept of I'm trying to tell my kids that is like I'm allowed is just the scariest thing. I hear people say that and it makes me frightened. And I don't like the idea of ceilings.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because you know, like I've followed what you've done over the last few years. When I used to work at agency, I remember when you first started and coming in and you were doing little bits with, and now I can see, like, you know, this isn't meant to push what you're doing, but like, it's incredible. Like, you know, you got a couple of books out. I've seen you guys grow and you don't have a ceiling.
No, I don't have a ceiling. It's just stuff is fun or it's not fun.
Yeah. And that's it. You follow where your passion is and you, this Seth Godin quote, what was it? You love what they do what they love. So it's something like amateurs love what do what they. Hold on a sec. I'm trying to get it in the right. Do what they love what they do what they love. So amateurs do what they love.
Yeah.
Professionals love what they do.
And that's very true. I like that.
And I know that sounds okay. That sounds very profound, but what does that mean?
Yeah.
But we love what we do.
We do.
And because of that kind of continuous learning and curiosity, there isn't a ceiling.
No.
And that's frightening for people around us.
You're right, actually. And that is a really good concept because I have... You know, so I have a business partner who's also my partner. So we have 2 businesses together. I have the 3 businesses in total. And one of the biggest conversations was, you know, he said to me one day, he goes, don't expect people to be able to do what you do. He goes, you don't understand. You look at something and you just go, that's where you're going. And it's a split-second decision and you're moving. He goes, you have to give people time to catch up. You have to give people time. You have to slow down your explanations. He goes, you don't have to slow down. He goes, you can keep doing all of the big and exciting things, but you have to take the time to bring the people with you. And that was quite profound because I often, well, not often, but sometimes, because my social media AOK team have been around me for a long time. So they just come, you know, so they're used to me now. They're used to the way that I work and they just follow me. And you know, but you have to cultivate a lot of faith in your team for them to be able to do that and not break them. And, you know, like occasionally I break Tamara, my general manager. Sorry, Tamara. Not so often anymore but you know, I've actually got a business coach, Sergio from Complete Workflow Solutions, working with us at the moment. And one of his tasks is really to work out where I break the systems and the processes and what we can put in place that will avoid me breaking workflows and systems, but still allow me to be who I am and to do what I do. And I have avoided this conversation for, like, it's been coming for 3 years.
Well, tell me all about it. Come, let's get comfy. Let's just tackle this.
Well, I think it's because it's, you know, it's very easy. You can get a business to a certain stage on guts and determination and
where I'm
work
at the
ethic.
moment.
You just like, I just keep working until, and it will be fine. And then eventually, you know, like you start to go, you know what, I'm going to sacrifice some money to have more help.
Yeah.
And so then you bring more help in, and then somewhere in there you end up with a ridiculously large payroll, like across the two businesses. I don't like to think about how much money I pay to people that they've earned, but then I pay the ATO money that like makes me sad. But it's, you know, that I didn't realize how exhausted I was by having 3 businesses until I got an executive assistant. And now all of a sudden there's a whole layer of stuff that I don't have to do or manage or deal with anymore. So, you know, like she'll go, here are the 4 emails that you actually need to deal with. I've dealt with 62 of them. And it's, you know, it's like, okay. So all of a sudden I'm, you know, I don't have to work
you're like
at night.
A parent
to
all these people.
To all the businesses,
So we're growing, really fortunate growing, and I've really tried to hold off on growth because I went through that whole bringing people on and it didn't work out because I didn't really know what I wanted the role to be.
Like,
but I'm learning as I'm going. And I'm trying to make the right decisions in regards to where we go that doesn't sacrifice the output and outcomes for other people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And also ensure that the people I bring on are prepared to skip down the yellow brick road, which is what we're on, the yellow brick road.
Absolutely.
Or at least hold on to me as we
Whilst
go
down the yellow brick road. Yeah.
And that, and also make sure that we don't do too much and just do what we're good at. And it's bloody tough.
It is.
And then parents, and then be a good husband and all that.
Yeah, it's hard being a good partner, doing all the things.
But then the flip side of that, which somebody told me, a friend of mine here said, can you imagine being the partner of the person skipping down the yellow brick? My poor wife is the most amazing person in the world because she's got 3 boys, well, 4 including the dog, and I'm one of them.
Look, and I think that's very true, because I remember like having a conversation with Alex when we first took on the pub. So that was the you know, like the second business. And I said to him, you know, I've found an ubercorn. It's even better than a unicorn. I need you to come and talk me out of it, please, because I was terrified I was going to work myself into an early grave. And anyway, so he came and had a look, and he's like, I'm not going to talk you out of it. We can do this. It's fine. It's just hard work. Done hard work before. And I said, well, you have one job. He's like, what's that? I said, you'll know. There'll come a point where you have to pull the handbrake on and you have to take me away from all of the things.
Yeah.
So I'm giving you permission to pull the handbrake. When that happens, we need some kind of a safety word, and it's like
danger word.
Take me away.
We have those in workshops. I call it the danger word.
Yeah.
I say, okay, guys, we're going to work as a team. Has anyone heard of the concept called danger words? And you get a few eyebrows raised. And we have a danger word, and when it's meant to stop all the bulldozers and the ramblers, they call it out. But I have this mantra: you say yes until you have to say no. Yeah. Which
I'm a bit like
kind of like you can almost paint yourself into a corner sometimes. But I feel like the more you say yes, the more opportunity presents itself to you. And if you have the right intent, or from a business perspective, you know where you want to go, you can paint that picture within that.
And I think that the challenge as you grow is if you hold on to more space for light. So if you go, right, well, and I'm a bit the same. The week that I have the kids, I like to drop them off to school. I like to pick them up from school every day. That's my thing. And so what is it that I need to put in place around me that enables me to be that parent during that time? Now, some of that is I get quite tired that week in some respects because I fit an entire working week into 25 hours.
Yep, you work from as soon as the kids go to bed.
But see, now they're at that age where they stay up till 8:30 at night. It's ridiculous. They used to go to bed at 7 I could do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm an early to bed kind of person. So now I just go, Hunter, the eldest, in bed at 8:30, and I'm in bed at 9.
Really?
Yeah, and I get up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and they'll get breakfast, and I'll do a little bit of emails and this, that, the other.
Yeah.
And then I'll take them to school and be in the office by 9 o'clock, and then leave the office at 2. But I'm not built for working at night.
Neither am I.
No.
It's killing me.
Yeah. So, but the trick is that's when you know that you need that help. And so it's and talking to Sergio, what he says to me is, it's about, high value, medium value and low value activities. So look at what you're doing in a day and in a week. Okay, Simone, how much of that was low value activity for the business? I'm like, well, I printed off the name tags for the event and cut the things, and I did this. And he just gives me a look that says, you're clearly on drugs. You pay people much less than your hourly rate to do this, that, the other.
And that's something I think, I feel like I've got that down. I'm quite good at delegating, and something that we've done. So I brought someone in that's just amazing, and we started bringing in interns as well. But something we've done is we created an operating system for how More Space runs.
Yeah, cool.
And with that, there's an initial hard work because I'm documenting everything at the moment.
That's what Tamara's doing at the moment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we use this tool called Notion.
Okay.
So it's notion.so. I get no money from them.
Yeah.
The cool kids are already on something else. So I was cool when I decided we wanted to go to Notion, but the speed of action from execution from decision took a while.
Yeah.
But we've now started, it's like a Wikipedia, and we're basically using that Wikipedia to
build all your processes out.
Because I want to be able to say, do this, go here and do it. And it's up to me to basically take this and put it there, because I want more space.
Yeah, so that's how you create
I don't
it.
like to say that hit by a bus. I like to say the win the lotto scenario.
Oh, yeah, Sergio does it pass the Tibet test. If you got on a plane and moved to Tibet tomorrow, would your business still run?
Okay, yeah. Well, that's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
That's where we're going.
Yeah.
But this operating system that we've put in place has enabled us to really help and unlock a lot of things.
So what would be your single most piece of advice that you wish someone had given you in your first year of business that would have made your life easier?
Don't do it.
You can't say that. That's not that answer.
Jeez. The single piece is really hard because I don't regret any of the bad decisions I've made.
No,
because I wouldn't have learned.
Yeah.
The single piece of advice that I'd give myself is, wow, this is a big one. Believe in yourself.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. Trust the process, believe in yourself.
Believe in yourself, back yourself.
Yeah.
And you and be a good guy. And that was one of the things that when I started, I can see your Simon Sinek book behind me. I thought, who do I want? What is the persona I want as a leader?
Yeah.
And what is the persona I want out of More Space? Because I've worked for really horrible people, and
we all have,
and I didn't want to be like I'm. Hopefully, generally, I'm a nice person. And I wanted that to translate its way into the business. And I wanted it. I don't want it to be silly and like a clown. I want it to be a relatable business.
Yeah.
People can even though it's a premium brand, I want people to feel like they can have a conversation, they can relate, they're getting some value out of it.
Well, that's a very good place to finish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Dan, thanks very much for joining me today.
Sure. Thank you for having me.
My pleasure.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Seriously Social. Check our website for the latest news, show notes, and for details about Simone's latest book, Confident Networker.